All right, I'm out here and I'm going to get a line up this big rocky hill here with 4 big 1/6 scale trucks. Let's see which one. Well, the Summit is not a 1/6 scale. I just brought it out because it's one of my old classic favorites. More like an 8 scale. There's the Summit. This big boy, about 20 years old, 6 scale. I did some hobby grade upgrades. Okay, we got 2 here. We got the Summit, we got the Scorpion, and then in the front, it's taking up my whole car. We got the big boy Hummer. It's probably my biggest one. Not the widest, but biggest and most capable overall. And then here, we got another 20-year-old. This one's got the original electronics. So it's going to be interesting to see how it does against the one with the hobby grade and then against the 2 fully hobby grades. Look at that. Cool little remote. Let's see how they do on the rock hill. We're going to pick the similar lines and we're going to do them. All right. First one up is the Jeep. Before I start on the big rock hill here and find me a line or 2, I'm going to hit this rock I always like to hit and see how this one does. This one's full toy grade still. All I did was open it up and I put some new belts in there tighter, and I put some hobby grade wheels and tires, gave it a little more ground clearance. Remember, this is a toy grade you could buy at Walmart 20 years ago. Remember that while you're watching this thing go. Look at that. And these tires are amazing. These are 2.9 Duratrack tires. Not sure what model of tire it is, but that was a pretty steep climb. Not sure the model of the tire. Let's see, it should be on the side. No, it's not. Nothing on the side. Oh, it's on the back. I got the tires on backwards on that wheel. It is a Duratrack Fossil. See it there? Duratrack Fossil. All right. For what it's worth, I'm going to be trying to do this one-handed, I guess. But we're going to try to get up through here. Kind of zigzag to the right, left a little bit, and then back to the right. Avoid the fallen tree. See if we can get to the top. I don't know if we're going to be able to because we got big fat axles on this old rig and a bunch of rocks that are not very large but big enough to get caught up under the axle. But let's see what we got. I'm sure it will still impress because it's a 20-year-old toy grade. And that sound you're hearing is there's a little gear in there that shifts it from high to low gear. That touches a little bit on the edge. She's impressing me. That's for sure. I don't know how we're gonna get through here, but we shall see. See what I mean? We got a big axles and rocks that now I got that big axle hung up on that rock there. I'm gonna try to turn up onto this rock like so. There we go. We might be able to swing this. Let's get onto this rock over here. Look at that. Toy grade, baby. Now I got a problem with this one I forgot about until just now. The front axle does that popping thing, because it has a little piece in there that slips around. I need to fix that. Otherwise, I'm going to have a lot of problems with it. We just turtled ourselves. We beached ourselves. See if we can get over this. Get a different angle look here so I can see what I'm doing. Doing this all one-handed. See what I mean when it makes that sound? The front tire intermittently stops spinning. If the front end were full power right now, we'd get through it. But we got through it. Just had to change our angle. I'm going to fix that. It's going to be stuck in low gear if I fix it. That's why I haven't fixed it yet. I enjoy having that high-low gear on such an old rig. Got myself into another situation here. It does this weird thing. It's not just this one. The other one did it too. But the other one I have upgraded to hobby grade. But we're on our skid plate. There we go. That's where we want to be, right there. Go, baby, go. I'm gonna cut it to the right. The front tires quit helping. Let's get the rear tire up on here. The front tire's not helping on this, hurts us a lot. We're gonna see if we can do it anyway. I think if we get the right angle. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Get up around this rock a little bit here. Man, I've got to fix that front end. Right now it would pull right up that if the front had full power, same as the rear. So we're gonna bump it back a little bit, steer. Yeah. Instead of trying to get it stuck in low forever, I'm gonna probably try to find another parts truck. I really want to get up this. Come on, baby. The front tires aren't helping at all right here. That's why I'm stuck. It's pretty much the only reason I'm stuck. I'm just gonna finish toasting that front axle probably. We almost went. Let's see if I can hang it further this way. There we go. There we go. We figured out a way. We're almost to the top, ladies and gentlemen. That's quite impressive for this thing. Right here, we're probably going to have to cut it a little more further to the left. There we go. I can't believe we got up that with this thing. Toy grade. Now, obviously, if the front axle was pulling full power, same as the rear, and the front tires weren't just sitting there half the time, we'd have really had no issue hardly. This thing is very impressive with just the simple tire upgrade. I want to finish it up the hill here. It's getting to where the front tires are getting weaker and weaker because I'm stripping it around in there. No help from the front tires. All right, we're going to call that to the top, right? I'm going to call it to the top. Get this thing off the road because we're just hurting our front axle more and more. It may not even be fixable later when I want to lock it into place. What I'm going to miss when I lock it into place is this high gear. 20-year-old rig from Walmart has a high gear. See there? It makes it a little more than, a bit more than walkable speed even. On to the next rig. Okay, now we're on to the big boy, the other big boy. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the other one's just as big now. But this is full hobby grade, dual motor on axle. And I got rid of the Clodstall on this bad boy by just putting some fusions on the axles. Some Hobbywing fusion motor ESC combos. This thing just walks everything. It walks literally everything. So no surprise here that everything's going to be easy. Watch, there's no Clodstall, whereas you have in the past where you'd have two brushed motors, the rear tires would spin slower than the front tires under load. You won't see that happen with this rig. And such incredible control. Some of the best control of anything I've ever had. Steering is not that great to the left for some reason. It's just how the axles are made, but looks like the Jeep held onto this rock better though and went right up it. Either that or I set it down at a better angle. I'll have to look at the footage. I just can't get the steering around to that right angle on the first try right here. But because of that, we had to do a harder, steeper climb, better angle to begin with right here like this. What happened to my phone? We lost focus. This was going to be hard to drive with one hand too. The controller's made in a way that I can't reach my hand as easy. Okay, the Jeep just went right up right here. Are you telling me that this thing can't get up? My more prized build, hobby grade. So that was very impressive what the Jeep did then. I mean, yeah, I went up it now, but I don't think the Jeep even had to swing this far over onto the rock away from this steep ledge. I don't know if the video does it any justice, but it gets smaller as you get over here, the ledge does. If you come up and you're able to come around here, it's easier. This thing toppled backwards on me. of course, because the rear tires were below this other steep ledge at that point too. But the Jeep really impressed me. See, look here, this thing will not run away going backwards like this. Like a normal ESC. I can keep it controlled going down a steep incline, decline, whatever you want to call it. See here, it will not run away. I can go as slow as I want and the tires will never speed up rolling down a hill. Love that. Great for a crawler. Let's move over to the rock pile, which I believe it's going to go up. All right, my expectations could be wrong because they were kind of wrong about the rock, but I suspect this is just going to walk right up this, no problem, because better ground clearance, no issues with the axles. Axles got way better ground clearance, modern hobby grade. I don't see us having any issue other than maybe flipping if we're not careful. But point her and she will go. Horrible steering to the left. I can also upgrade this to 5th scale steering. There's a plate for the Red Cat clawback that'll fit on here. Okay. Now with the other one, what we did was we threw the tires up on here. Like so. See that freaking amazing control. What are we getting ourselves into here? Little to no struggles so far. As long as we're not picking a bad line like the rock we're about to hit. I'm one-handing it. And this controller, the thumb for the... Putting my thumb on the steering wheel is a lot harder. I'm worried about the other 20-year-old toy grade rig that I upgraded, because that one, the steering is not gonna, it's not the same. The steering is still on the old system, no steering servos, so I have an ESC hooked up just for that steering. And what happens with that is, I gotta be careful right here. I'm gonna try to push it through without having to back up like that. The other one would not go up right here. I had to hang it over to the left on the rock. See how that one just crawled right up it anyways. And I suspect we'll be able to go straight up and out of this one. Not gonna have any front axle quit pulling on us. I don't think I had it in the shot. Hopefully I didn't have it out of the shot too long. Right here's where I first tried to go up with the other one, but the front axle wouldn't help us up. Here we go. No problem. Not a problem. Got through that quickly. Okay, a little bit about this one. This one I've put 40 series tires on, which this is my first time running it with 40 series and the new motors in there. It's got a belt drive in there in the axles. It's the same as the orange Jeep. So what could happen here is these tires are too big. These were intended for the Summit that I was getting originally. But the Summit came with a nice set of Mudslinger tires, 40 series. But if they underwhelm and these are too much for this one, I'll change these out for something else. Maybe some TSL 2.9, similar to the size on the Jeep. And I'll put these on the Summit because I know these tires are great. But anyways, let's see how she does. I'll be surprised to find out it doesn't struggle with these big tires. This one I've got to be a little more careful too because the steering is not normal. She went. Easier than the yellow one again. I'm gonna have to take more time on this one because look at that monster. 20-year-old toy grade monster. It's got enough steering power now to turn them a bit on rock and stuff. What do you guys think? Over to the rock. All right. Now this is the same chassis as the orange Jeep. With bigger tires, probably too big for this chassis. And it doesn't have the front axle issue the orange Jeep has as of now. I thought about just running one of these and using the other chassis as parts. I got my axle right into a rock. Went right into that same rock again. I eventually want to figure out how to get my steering to hobby grade on this one. Let's go on the rock, not into the rock with the axle. Yeah, I can see that when I hit something with my front tires, it really pushes my steering wherever it wants because of these 40 series. Tires being quite large for this boy. But I don't see much of a power issue because it still will turn the rear tires over when stuck with the weight on them. What are we doing here? We're beaching our rear axle. I'm already starting to feel like the orange Jeep did a better job here. But I just got to be a little more patient with this one because the steering isn't normal. I have to steer it. I steer it and then I have to steer it back. If I steer it too far to one side, the steering servo on this thing will take it to where it's not supposed to go. And it'll get stuck there and I'll have to go and pull it out with my fingers. It's pretty hard to pull out. Man, when it hits that spot right there, it pulled my front tires. I don't know if you guys got a good line on that on the video. It yanked my front tires to the steering position. Right now, I think my tires are locked. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. They're locked. This is what I was talking about. I can't steer back now. It's stuck. I'm gonna have to go get that out with my finger now. Okay, it should be fine now. I had to pull it out with my finger. It got wedged in somewhere. It might be wedged again because that's what that popping noise usually is. Nope, not wedged again yet. Okay, yeah, see how the tires are not spinning? It's a different reason than the orange Jeep. The reason here is because the tires are just too big. And there's a belt in there and the belt stops spinning. The belt slips when there's so much stress. I would rather have this problem though than the orange Jeep problem. Don't get me wrong. See there? Also got plenty of power when I need it, but I just locked that damn thing again. That's the problem with this one. They both got their own problems, the old 20-year-olders that I've got to work out. If you look here, I don't know if you can see it, but over here on the steering side, here's the steering servo. There we go. See, it popped. Now it'll go. It'll steer. It like wedges in some plastic. Now, let's get through here. This one, because I upgraded the motors, has a little more wheel spin if I need it too. Look at that. It's gonna walk right up where the Hummer walked up. Still less axle clearance than the Hummer though, because big old fat plastic axles that you got to have the skid plates on it to reduce the skid plates will reduce the ground clearance. Can we go out where we went out with the Hummer? Yeah, I think we'll be able to. Yeah, I'll say 40 series is a little much for this rig, but hey, gets the job done. And believe it or not, these tires will go better probably than the Mudslingers, which are probably the most famous tire on the Summit. But we'll see. Okay, now we're on to our most fictional truck. And I got to be careful with this one. It does not have a drag brake right now, pretty much. And the ESC comes with a weak drag brake. These wheels are super heavy. I bet this truck is friggin' 20 pounds or more. And I can't reach. Oh man, this is going to be the hardest one-handed. And that on top of no drag brake. So I've really got to be careful with this one. Really got to be careful. So I'm going to get into the throttle, and I'm not going to let out of the throttle, or hopefully I don't have to. Look at that thing squat. I should tighten up those rear shocks. It's so heavy, it can't get up. And it see no drag brake when I let off. It's trying to run away. This thing needs some tweaking for sure. I'm gonna put an 880 in there. Hobbywing WP 880. And it's pink. And I thought it was red, according to the eBay post. Got a good deal though. Yeah, there we go. No problem. Oh shit. Took its first fall. All right, the hill climb. Man, this is gonna be hard. This is very hard to reach. And this at the same time, and this at the same time. Very hard. Oh my goodness. Traxxas remote is not freaking one-hand friendly. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna have to hold this some weird way. But I don't think it's gonna struggle much though, other than the drag brake. not being present. Excuse me if I don't get it in the shot very well. I've got to do a lot of things at once here. Oh my God. Easy on the throttle, guy. Yeah, I definitely need that WP880 put in here. Steering is super weak. Literally the first time driving this truck, so everything's new to me right now. Figuring it out as I'm going. I still have one I converted to an LT, if you know what that means, but so I'm familiar with these and how capable they really are, but look at me getting stuck so easy. Freaking double tap for reverse. That ain't a crawler. I keep falling right into that same spot where I'm stuck at. Let me go over here. I bet if the stocks were on this bad boy, it would go a lot better. That's the softest tires you can get for this size truck. Traxxas made the softest tires. Softest rubbers. There's a pinion gear I need to get for this to lower the gear ratio and low, because it's still a little high and low. And then I'm going to get that, and I'm going to get the WP880. And we're going to be talking business, boys and girls. This is complicated too, because I don't know what to do with the controller. I can't one-hand it in the same way that I did with all the others. Scratch up these beautiful wheels. Too jerky, holding it weird. Damn it. This is impossible to do one-handed. Maybe I can figure something out here. Because I'm holding it in a weird way that I'm not used to holding an RC remote. I'm being super jerky with the throttle. God. To be honest with you, these tires suck, just like the smaller scale for the 10th scalers. They suck for them on rock too. No drag brake. This is the nightmare. This is a freaking nightmare, I tell you what. Okay, there's my line. Hold it. Of course it fell off, because I couldn't freaking steer. Am I gonna have to start over? Probably. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to recover from this. If I had great control with a drag brake, I can probably recover from this situation. If I don't, I'm gonna do that. Boy, this sucks. I thought I'd go off camera and use a little bit of honesty and see if you guys would trust me and get up the hill, but I still struggled so bad. I know that from my history of trying these tires suck horribly bad on the smaller trucks for rocks. The only time you'd want to use them is probably mud or loose dirt and stuff. And I suspect they're not that great on the Summit either. That and it was a little more flippy from front to back. The front would come over easier than the other three. Put her in high gear. I don't really have a rip around kind of truck like this. I guess it's kind of fun to rip around with. If I can't ever get her to crawl good, I might just... It's a well-balanced truck, I guess. Do a little bit of crawling, a little bit of ripping around. But I remember, quite fondly I remember, mine being a crawling beast, but I kept the stock tires on it for a long time. This is what this truck is good at. There's no way any of my other three would get up that. You can see here where I dug in hard with these tires. Loose leaves and dirt and a little bit of wheel spin. Took me about 3 or 4 tries to hit it right, and I got right up it. There's no way any of the ones I got will get up that.